Assalamualaikum. My name is Shanna binti Rozaiman and the register number is 19 PBT WSA F1063.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Syairah binti Saidi and my matric number is 19 DDT 22 F1013. Now we want to explain for problem-based tasks.
So for the topic is domain name system DNS in Windows Server environment and dynamic host configuration protocol TCP in Windows Server environment. So firstly for the part 1, design the network topology. Design the network diagram that consists of the physical and logical network diagram that consists all the requirement stacked above. So we use 3 PCs, PC1, PC2, PC3 and 1 server. Each PC has their own VMNet. For PC1, VMNet 4, PC2, VMNet 5 and PC3, VMNet 6. For the server, we use VMNet 3, which is the main IP for the server. And then second, complete IP address table that will be assigned to the related requirement PC atau server that we use. So device, we have 3 devices, which is server 1, PC1, PC2 and PC3. Host name for server, SDR1. For PC1, HR department. For PC2, sales department. And for PC3 is staff department. And for server interface, we use NIC VMNet 3, NIC VMNet 4, NIC VMNet 5 and NIC VMNet 6. So for the IP address, VMNet 3 on the server, we use 192.168.2.10/24, which is we use the subnet mask 24, and VMNet and the gateway 192.168.2.1 for the gateway, because usually 0.1 is for the gateway, and DNS 20.2.2.1. And for the VMNet 4 on the server, we use the IP address 201.177.3.25. For the gateway, 201.177.3.1. And for the DNS, we use 192.168.2.1. For the VMNet 5 on the server, we use 150.122.2.25. For the gateway is 150.122.2.1. And for the DNS, same as the VMNet 4, which is 192.168.2.1. And lastly, VMNet 6 for the server 1, we use 192.168.1.1.25. For the gateway, we use 192.168.1.1. And the DNS is same as the above. So for the PC1, we use the interface VMNet 4. For the IP address, we use DHCP. For the subnet, we use 201.177.3.0/24. And for the gateway, we use for the gateway and DNS, we use both of them DHCP. The IP will assign automatically for the PC. And for PC2, we use VMNet 5. Also use DHCP. For the subnet is 150.122.2.0/24. And both gateway and DNS use DHCP. And lastly, for PC3, we use VMNet 6. For the IP address, we use DHCP. And for the subnet, 192.168.1.0/24. Also used for the gateway and DNS, we use DHCP. So next, for part 2, install Windows servers. So install all requirement service according to the requirement. Active Directory, give appropriate naming convention. Second, domain name system, give appropriate name for the required server. So firstly, we need to install the Active Directory, which is ID. And then we install domain name system, DNS. And then give the appropriate name for the server. We use finterest.com for the name of the server. And then third, dynamic host configuration protocol, which is DHCP. Install it to configure the DHCP on the server and the PC. So I give to my friend Syairah.
Okay, now I explain for part 3, configure DNS and DHCP setting. Okay, first Active Directory. A. Give appropriate naming convention. B. Promote the server as a domain controller. Okay, you can see the firstly is deployment configuration, and you should add a new forest. And for the domain name, you should enter the fintrust.com. And next, for additional option, for the NetIOS domain name, you should enter in Fintrust. Next, the result that show is successfully configure as domain controller. Okay, and then for the progress installation for DNS. Okay, for the domain name system, give appropriate names for the required server. First, for web server, A. Set up a host name for the web server and enter name Pinterest. For fully qualified domain name, enter the pinterest.pinterest.com. And for IP address, enter the 192.168.2.3 and add host. And for B, set up an address name for the web server. First, enter address name is web01 and fully qualified domain name, enter web01.pinterest.com. And for fully qualified domain name, enter the 192.198.2.5 and click OK. Okay, for C, set up a pointer record for the web server. Firstly, enter the host IP address is 192.198.2.1, and for fully qualified domain name is 1.2.198.192 in -addr.irpa, and enter the host name is web01.pinterest.com and click OK. And for mail server, A. Set up a mail exchange record. First, enter host or chat domain is mail, and then enter fully qualified domain name is mail.pinterest.com, and fully qualified domain name of mail server, enter the 192.198.2.5. And for mail server priority, enter the 10 and click OK. Okay, for dynamic host configuration protocol, first assign dynamic IP address for HR department. Firstly, for scope name, enter the name is HR department. For description, you should enter scope address for HR department VLAN. For the IP address range, for the start IP address is 201.177.3.1. For end IP address, enter the 201.177.3.254. And for configuration setting, DHCP client for link to 24, and the subnet mask 255.255.205.205.205.0 and click next. Okay, for the exclude the first 10 IP address, and enter the start IP address is 201.177.3.1, and for an IP address, enter the 201.177.3.2. 1063.10 and click add and click next. For the list duration is 10 days and click next. And for router default gateway is 201.177.3.1 and click add. And last for active the scope. Okay, for the assign dynamic IP address for sales department. First, you should enter scope name is sales department, and for the description is scope the address for sales department VLAN, and for IP address range, that's for start IP address is 115.122.2.1, and for end IP address 115.122.2.254, and for the length is 24, and last for subnet mask is 255 and dot 255.255.0 and click next. And for exclude the first 10 IP address is for the start IP address is 115.122.2.1, and for an IP address is 115.122.2.10 and add. For the list duration is 10 days and click next. And for the router default gateway is IP address is 115.122.2.1 and click add. Last for active the scope, and for C, assign a dynamic IP address for staff department. First, enter the scope name is staff department, and for the description is scope address for staff department VLAN, and click next. And next for IP address range, for the start IP address is 192.168.1.1, and for the end IP address 192.198.1.254, and for link is 24, and last for subnet mask is 255.255.255.0 and click next. And for exclude the first 10 IP address is for start IP address is 192.198.1.1, and for end IP address is 192.198.1.10 and click add. And for list duration is 10 days and click next. And for router default gateway is 192.198.1.1, and last for active the scope. And lastly for the connectivity test and verification result, and for PC1 is HR department is successful connectivity, and for the PC2 is sales department is successful connectivity, and PC3 is and staff department is successful connectivity.
That's all. Thank you.